Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Estancia Lapacho. And today, I'm just bringing this one back from the field over there, and I've got some sunflowers in the trailer back there as well, which we want to bring in and empty. And there's also the small Massey that needs to be brought back to the yard, and that trailer emptied. I've got the workers in the field working away, and there's one little issue that I want to address with the small Stara that we've got working currently on the seed drill, because several of you think that it's a little bit too small, and I'm starting to agree with you on this one. I think it's kind of been, borderline for it for a little while, but now I'm looking at it and it does seem to be struggling a little bit. Before we go any further though, my weekly question this week is, what would you like me to do in this area here? Now, we've got quite a big area here, and I'm going to be using this to store all of our machinery. We're slowly accumulating more and more, and we will be getting yet more still. So we're going to need somewhere decent to store it all. Now, we can either just have it as an open air, open grassed area like this. We can move stuff back out of the way and mow a little patch for the cows, that sort of thing. And that wouldn't actually be very unrealistic at all. That would be quite realistic, by the way they do things in South America. So I have been informed. It certainly wouldn't be out of the ordinary. The only issue you have with storing stuff outside in the warm climate that we've got here is you tend to get fading like that there. So you do tend to get quite a lot of fading on the machinery that is stored outside, but other than that, it's not really going to harm it. So it could all be lined up outside and stored quite happily. The bales here, these, we're just assuming that they have been sheeted down. They've been covered over with a sheet, so they are okay. They're not getting damaged, not getting rained on or anything. But yeah, do you want me to keep this as an area of grass? Would you prefer me to just go over it with a plow and a cultivator and turn it into a hard-packed dirt area? So we will just give it the cultivated texture, but essentially it would be a hard-packed area. Or we could use the ground modification mod and get that roller out, and we could cover it with concrete. Or we can do the hard-packed dirt and then put some sheds down on top of that so that we're storing the machinery undercover. Or we can do the concrete idea and put sheds down on top of that and put them undercover. So you've got 5 options there. We can leave it as grass, or we can do hard-packed dirt with sheds. We can do concrete, or we can do concrete with sheds. It's your vote. It's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. Now we're just going to, very quickly, we're just going to have a look at these. If you remember, this week our random event was that we had a barn find, and it was this truck right here. So in the comment section this week, I want you to tell me if you think I should keep the barn find and ditch the old truck, get rid of that one, we'll take it to dealership and get rid of it. Or do we do the original plan according to the actual list, and we take the barn find and we sell it? Now, I think we can do either one, really. I don't think it's really going to matter. So we can either get rid of that one there, or we can get rid of the barn find and keep the old one. So it's up to you. So I want that one in the comment section this week. Let me know your opinions on that. So let me just quickly go back through here. This one we've already talked about. We're going to keep it for now on lease. But no, what we want to do is we want to take a look at this tractor. Not that one. This one here. Now, I feel that this tractor is bouncing around rather a lot, and that is contributing to it not sort of looking like it's doing a decent job. However, that is the ground response mod, the Giant's own ground response mod, which does make the ground a little rough and uneven as you're traveling along. I think it's overdone for the ploughed cultivated texture. It definitely seems to be a little bit too rough and bouncy. I don't think it would be like this. Now, I've driven on fields that have been cultivated ready for sower, and if you're going to be drilling on a field, you don't want your tractor to be bouncing around like that. That would indicate that it has not been cultivated enough, and you need to do another pass with the cultivator. So, my thought now is maybe it would be better if we disabled the ground response mod, and then we'll see how this tractor copes with it after that, so it'd be a more level surface. I realise we are doing away with that rather nice sort of uneven ground effect, but a lot of the machines we're using at the moment, it seems to be overdone on them a little bit, and I'm not really liking this. It doesn't feel very realistic to me at all. So my thought is we'll get rid of the ground response mod, and then we will come back and we will check the tractor and we'll see how it copes with that. So give me your thoughts on that one. And several people have suggested I should just sell this one and buy an upgrade. Whether it's another John Deere or another Stara, I'm not really sure what we would do at the moment. I'm leaning towards, if we do sell this, to get another Stara, because Stara is kind of the star of the show for this series. So having 3 of them, I feel, would be quite good. Now we've got 2 others that are working away at the moment. We've got this one here I do need to take back. I'm not going to worry about that one today. But we've got these other 2, if we just quickly go to them. This one here, well, he's currently got the rake on, but this is the one that we're going to go and use the baler on. This is a 180 horsepower tractor. It's going to handle the baler without any problem. And then the other one is right over there. That one is doing the cultivating slash, well, it's deep cultivating. So it's giving the plowed effect on the field. But we're not doing any of that today. No, today what we're doing is we are loading up this one. So I'm just going to undo the cover there. And this one takes liquid in the front tank there, and it takes solid fertilizer in the back tank back there. So what we're going to do is get the Merlo, and we're going to get the spikes on it, not the spikes, the pallet forks, which are right there. And we're going to start loading it up. Now, we don't actually need this tractor loader and stuff, so I think we'll sell that first. We'll put in an order and have those sold immediately. The dealership can come and collect them. So we want that one there to sell. Yes, and then we want to sell the universal bucket, and we want to sell the small pallet forks as well. So we get rid of all of those. At the moment, we're still undecided on whether we shall sell this truck here and just have the smaller one that is currently hitched up to the, oh, what do you call it? The seed tender, We've also got this one on lease, and I'm thinking that we'll probably buy that one as well, because it seemed to do quite a good job in the end. But yeah, if we were to buy this one, we sell the other truck and we buy this one instead, that one then can run the seed tender, and it can also do a few other things as well. So it'll be quite useful having that one around. So let me just go and grab the Merlo, and we can start loading up our fertilizer spreader. I really love the fact that that fertilizer spreader can do both jobs at once. It can either do the liquid spraying, or it can do the solid fertilizer spraying, and you've got the 2 separate tanks on it. I think that's a really, really cool idea, and I think it's going to be particularly useful for us. It does mean that we don't have to worry about getting another spreader of any kind. We can just use that one there, and it's going to make life a lot easier. And also, we've not used a machine that will do that before, so that's another positive there. So we just spin round here, and we'll grab that one. There we go. Right, that was loaded up. So we'll get the first thing of fertilizer that we've got in the shed here. And after we've used these 3 pallets, I think that we will, for this series, we will use pallets. Now, for the last series, I ended up getting a storage tank, and we just pulled up alongside, and we did it that way. And I think the previous one, what did we do in the previous one? You know, I can't honestly remember now. I think... Oh no, we went and we got the fertilizer and we put it loose in the shed, and then we loaded it using a conveyor system. Well, I think in this one, we're just going to have the pallets flat on the ground, and we're going to load them like that. We're going to pick up each pallet and we'll load it into the fertilizer spreader. Purely because we haven't really done that very much. I mean, if we do get really fed up with doing this, we will, of course, change things around, because nothing is set in stone in any of these series. If we decide that it's taking too long and it's just causing us too much hassle, then we can change. And just lower that one back down, and we'll go and grab another pallet. I'm going to try and get 2 pallets this time round. We've got seed lined up there, so we can use that as well. We'll use some of that to load up the seed tender. We do also have the seed tender, and the seed tender it's kind of a little bit different with that one. I don't really want to load up that one using pallets, although I'm not really sure. I mean, it's only 5 pallets of each, isn't it? It's 10 tons altogether, so it's 5,000 of each, so 5 pallets to load the thing completely to the brim. That's not actually that bad. You know, it's going to be a little bit time consuming, but it's only like 3 trips, because we can do 2 pallets at once like this. You do them sideways on as well. It does the job really well. And our trailers will handle pallets, so we can go down to the shop, we can get a load of pallets, we can bring them back, and that'll be it. Right, that one's loaded up completely, and it's got 300 litres left in total on these 2 pallets, which isn't a great deal. So we'll load that back in a little while. We won't do it just now. So let's put that one going there, and we can take a look at the Stara Imperador 3.0. This one, unfortunately, does not have multiple steering options. We'll just close the cover there. It does have the solid fertilizer or liquid fertilizer. You can choose to do one or the other. But it does not have multiple steering options. The back wheels are solid. They do not turn. You don't have an option to set them to being able to turn, which is a little bit unfortunate. I know that some of you thought that maybe that would be the case so that you could have the four-wheel steer on it, because a sprayer with four-wheel steer, it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. So if I do it like this and I press Y, it then goes to unfold sprayer, liquid fertilizer, open cover, and if I go that one, it just turn on sprayer. Right, that's just doing the fertilizer out the back. But then, if I do that, it's going to unfold it anyway. And we'll see what happens. If I undo that one, and then you cannot do two lots of fertilizer at once. You've got to do that during different growth stages, or after something else has been done on the field. So we wouldn't be able to do sort of a double lot all at once. So we either got to do liquid, or we got to do the other. Now, that one there is like that. But then if I press B, you first need to fold up the tool sprayer. It won't let me do it if this one is out. So you've got to fold this one back up again, and then you can start doing your fertilizer spreading. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread a line of fertilizer just manually across the bottom. And you can see the bouncing of this machine here. And I really do think this is quite unrealistic. So I don't think we'll do it this week. I'm going to let you give me your thoughts on this one in the comment section as well today, and we'll see what you think of it. So if I just start that one going along there, and we'll start spreading fertilizer as well. How far does it reach? You can't really... Oh, the helper eye has finished. You can't really see what it's doing, unfortunately. And that is the main reason that most of this field is going to be done using the hired help rather than me manually doing it, because of how the sugarcane works and spreads this layer of stuff over the field. Even though the crop has grown in places here, you still can't quite see what's going on. And so through the majority of the field, it's going to be far more beneficial for us if we let the hired help do it. We're still going to watch the machine for a bit. We're going to see how it's doing it. And I quite like the idea of using this one doing the granulated fertilizer. It just, I don't know, it's different. It's not, so we haven't used a machine like this to do our granulated fertilizer yet at all anywhere in the game. So for that reason, it is a little bit different, it's a little bit unique, which is ideal. That's what we want. We always want something new. And then once we've had enough of playing around with fertilizer, then our next major job is to go and get a baler, which we don't currently have. And we'll bring that one back from the shop, and then we can start doing our baling. We've got the tractor up there on the rake at the moment. That's the one that we're going to be using for doing the baling. And I'm going to bring that one up there, and I'm going to press H. Field detection. Oh, no, I don't want the AI vehicle extension on this. I want standard, normal AI to run this. There you go. Right. It is quite slow, I think, compared to other fertilizer spreaders. This one does seem to be a little slow. I'm not really sure. We'll have to compare it, because that's doing... Actually, we might be able to compare that just by very quickly looking in the shop here. We go to fertilizer spreaders here. This one here does 20 kph, 20, 20, 20. Right, they're all saying 20 kph, and this one is doing 12. 12, that's it. And I can't go any faster. So that is against it. That is very, very much against it. Although I suspect I mean, we know that is the speed that it would do the spraying at, but is the fertilizer using up at a slower rate? I'm looking at the fertilizer, and it's not running down very fast at all. It's actually running down very, very slowly at the moment. So let this one come round. He's going to stop there, so hopefully the other one will turn. Oh, I see. No, he's going to... I think he might be all right. No, he's not. They're both going to get completely hung up on each other now. You watch. That one's going to come there, and then that one's going to come up beside him, and they're both going to stop, and yeah. I thought for a moment we were going to have intelligent workers, but apparently that's not going to happen. Intelligent workers is still just a dream. It's nothing but a pipe dream at the moment, so we'll start up there and go in that bit. I think that's close enough. It's definitely covering all of the area with fertilizer. How far over that way does it get? He does go quite a way. So there is our Stara Imperador. It is working away quite nicely, spreading fertilizer rather than granulated fertilizer rather than liquid fertilizer. But looking at the speed that is dropping down, I would say it's not using it excessively because it's going slower. It doesn't seem to be using it up faster because it's going slower. It's not spreading it onto the field thicker than it would normally. And so I think that's okay. There is a drawback in that it's going slower. That is definitely a bit of a drawback. It does mean that it's going to take longer to get around the fields, and that seems to be, from my experience, the primary reason for choosing granulated fertilizer spreaders over sprayers, at least in this game, is because the granulated fertilizer is much faster to apply than the sprayers. And this has kind of taken that away, but at the same time, it still seems to be working, so we can cope with that. And I'm just going to move the angle. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's just watch in cab a minute and we'll see what this is doing. We've got the GPS up there on the side. It's showing us a speed limit on it, but it's not doing it. There's no other graphics on that one. Overall, the seat is pretty good. It's quite comfortable looking. We've got a nice passenger seat in there, plenty of room. It's not overly loud in here, which is excellent. You've got the safety escape hammer there. Use that for braking. For those of you who don't know, that red hammer up there, that is for escaping. If something horrible goes wrong and can't open the doors, you use that one. It's got some sharp metal points on each side, and you wallop the window as hard as you can with it, and it will shatter the glass. Better to hit the glass in the corner. If you're ever in a situation like this and you have one of those, you hit the glass in the corner, not in the middle, because that's where it's actually stronger. It's designed to take an impact in the middle more than the corner. So if you want to escape, you hit in the very corner. That's where you, it doesn't matter which corner, any corner, and there it's more likely to shatter. You may have to hit it a few times, but that's how you would escape if you needed to. Right, fed up with in-cab. Let's take a look at back here. So we've got nice. Well, we've got the animation on there, and we've also got the animation on the back. I've seen the gate opening up and down. I definitely think that we should be getting rid of this ground response thing because it's just bouncing around too much. It's now excessive. I don't think it used to be this bad, so maybe it's something to do with either it's the 1.5 update or it's something to do with this actual map. Either way, I'm not entirely certain, but we're definitely getting a lot more bounce than we were having. So that's on my to-do list, ready for next week. I think we might just disable that mod. But I'm not going to rush into things. I suggest these things, and I'll probably end up talking about it tomorrow as well. In the comment section, tell me your thoughts, because I do tend to base everything I do around feedback that I get from everybody that watches the videos. So, if I get a lot of feedback saying, no, don't disable it, even though it is a little bit excessive, we'd prefer to have this rather than having it not at all. So, and then obviously I'll leave it. So, I do pay attention to what people are saying in the comment sections. And we're just coming up. I'll tell you what, let's just spin round here. You can look at it coming up. Okay, that looks actually pretty cool. That machine does look very cool. And you can see the suspension working a little bit because of the ground response thing. And that's also actually quite cool, watching the suspension work. But, I mean, overall, yes, it is a little bit irritating, and it is bouncing a bit too much. You probably wouldn't have it bouncing this much. Not in real life, anyway. But we're done with that one for a minute. We'll let that one carry on. And what we want to do is we want to go to... Where is it? There we go. We're going to go to the MAN TGS 1848. The general consensus of opinion, like I said, seemed to be that I should get rid of the other truck and I should buy this one instead. And we tested it in yesterday's episode. We can run up alongside the... what do you call it? I need to put that spout out there. We can run up alongside the trolley, the dolly that takes this one, and we just press R and it flips over onto it, which is absolutely brilliant. That is wonderful, because what it means is we can then, rather than having to worry about trying to unload it and messing about with moving it over, we don't need to concern ourselves with that anymore, because we can... Let me just put that one back again. Yeah, we don't need to concern ourselves with that, because That was kind of my biggest issue with this. It was, you know, if I was to buy this one as our only truck, it takes ages to change the thing over from one to the other, because we were messing around using the Merlo in order to try and do it. But we can just pull up alongside, press a button, and job done. We don't need to worry about it at all. So, for that reason, I'm thinking that, yes, it would probably be quite a good idea. We could use that as the main truck for the farm, and then occasionally we're using it for pulling like the sugarcane trailer or the trailer for hay or straw or something like that, and then the rest of the time, you know, well, when it's time to do the planting anyway, then we move over to putting the seed tender on the back, and that one can run the seed tender around the fields, and I think that's going to work out really well. One thing I did want to look at was the Stara in the shop. If we just quickly go into this one, if we can get there without it crashing on us, that's the last thing we want it to do. And if I move up through here, there we go. Stara there, the ST Max 105 wheel setup. Wheel weights, narrow tires, wide tires, rear twins, excellent. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this vehicle would look a lot better, especially pulling this seed drill, if we were to put the rear twins on it. I think that would actually be a good investment for this tractor. And to that end, we also, I don't believe, have any kind of workshop down here. I'm just going to run a very quick look in here, and we're going to double check. But I don't think that we've actually got a workshop here at the farm. We've got this here, but I don't think it's actually a working workshop. That door doesn't open. No, from what I can see, we don't have a working workshop here. So what I'd actually like to do is I'm going to spend a little bit of cash on a placeable workshop. I've found this workshop here to be really useful in the few playthroughs that I've used it in. It's been absolutely invaluable. So I'm just trying to think, where would we dump a workshop? We'd want it somewhere that we could use it on a regular basis. We can't put it very close here. I don't really want it dropped in the middle of the roadway there, and if I turn it, I can't. What I'd like to do is I'd like to put it there, but we can't do that. It won't go up against the thingy there. So what else we could do is we could bring it over here, and we could put it right over in this corner. That would actually work out fairly well. If we just rotate it round, and we put it kind of like that there, I think. It'll be set back into the bank a little bit, and it's not going to be in the way. We've got our like concrete and stuff that we're planning to do a little bit later. And right about there, I think that would be perfect. Okay, let's go over and take a look at it. I'll tell you what, no, we won't go and take a look at it. What we'll do is we'll go and we'll get the Stara up here. And I'm actually going to stop right there in the middle. Just like that. And I'm going to jump out, and I'm going to unhitch this one right here where it is. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to run off with this one, and we're going to go down to the vehicle, down to our new shed. Why are you spreading that field? Okay, that wasn't actually part of the plan, but as he's already spread most of the field now, I'm just going to let him carry on. Yes, I know we're spreading fertilizer over the straw, which is not ideal. Maybe we'll sell that straw. Might be better. That might be better. We'll use the other straw for our own cows, and we'll sell the straw here that the Star is currently covering in fertilizer. Although I'm kind of hoping that the action of picking it up with the baler would actually result in the granules of fertilizer sort of falling down onto the ground underneath. So it wouldn't actually bale up very much fertilizer at all. So it should be okay. And it's bedding straw. It's because it's wheat. So it's with wheat straw, the cows eat very, very little of it. They hardly touch the stuff. If it's barley, they go nuts for it, and they will eat loads of it. But because it's wheat, they hardly eat it at all. It's very, very thick and tough kind of stuff, and so they don't eat it very much. They tend to just use that as bedding. And so for that reason, I think we're probably going to be okay. Even though it is spreading it with fertilizer, I think we should be all right with it. Now, we've got our new workshop over here, and if I can bring this one over... Customize. We want rear twin wheels. I think that would be better. There we go. Configuration changed. Okay, those rear twins are not quite as big as I thought they would be. I thought they would actually be a bit bigger than that, but still. They'll be okay. So we'll take this one back up, and we'll get this one back going again on the seed drill. The Stara should be almost finished over there as well. It's getting late, actually. It has. It's literally just finished. So we'll take this one back up and we'll get this one going again on the seed drill. It is starting to get late, so before we start, hopefully we'll start baling in tomorrow's episode. And so we'll have to bring the rake down from over there, and then we can go and get the new John Deere baler from the shop. It's not actually a new one, it's the one that we were using in Gorala. And the reason that I'm sticking with that one for now is because I figure we'll upgrade later on. We don't want to go blowing a whole load of money on a baler unnecessarily at the moment, so we get this second-hand John Deere baler and we'll run that one, and then when we've earned a little bit more money and we're in a better position for it, then we can go and spend a bigger chunk of cash on a bigger baler, or a newer baler, one that will perform a little bit better. Admittedly, in the game, you don't actually get that. You don't have issues with them breaking down, but trust me, I've used a second-hand baler, and they are an absolute headache. They really are. You have a second-hand baler, if you've got to do a lot of baling, it is an absolute menace. It really is. You don't want to be using a second-hand baler unless you've either not got very much to bale, or you know, you've got someone that's prepared to spend a lot of time repairing it for you, because it's terrible. It's just not worth it. So it's generally much better to buy new balers, which is why you'll find contractors, bigger farms, they do tend to run new machinery because it's more reliable. It's much less likely to break down. Right, I like the fact that we got the twins on here. This does actually seem to be a little bit more realistic. You've got that wider spread, so you've got less weight, compaction issues onto the freshly cultivated ground. However, the bouncing is still outside of realism as far as I'm concerned, so we'll do something about that for next week, I think. But anyway, like I said, we'll leave that open for discussion for everybody. So that one can carry on there, and I want to... What's happened there? Oh, it's still on there. We'll just load that Stara back up again so we've got all the fertilizer in it, because we're going to be using this one again. So it's finished that there. We've done 2 fields there. We'll do more spreading of fertilizer a bit later on. We're not going to worry about it today. And my weekly question for this week, as I said already, is what do you want me to do with that area of grass right there? Do you want me to leave it as grass and just keep parking up the machinery, kind of what we're doing right now? Do you want me to plow it and plow it and cultivate it, turn it into hard packed dirt? Do you want me to get the ground modification mod and roll it, go over it with the roller, turn it into concrete? Do you want me to do the hard packed dirt thing but put sheds on it, or do you want me to do concrete and then put sheds on it? So you've got 5 options there: grass, hard packed dirt with sheds, concrete, or concrete with sheds. It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. Now, we just start this one up. We'll get that last little bit of fertilizer in there so that we've gotten rid of these 2 pallets. And there we go. Not very much at all in there. We'll probably go and get more fertilizer fairly soon. I'm not quite sure when. We will use up some of this liquid fertilizer as well. So once we've used up the solid fertilizer in there, we'll be able to use the spray a bit on this as well. And so we've essentially got both options running. I mean, we're not necessarily going to do that today. I'm just going to park that one up there and stop. I wanted to see actually what is the spreading width of both things. Is there like 2 spreading widths on this thing? We want to go into... If I go into fertilizer spreaders, does it show up in here? It doesn't actually show up in that one. It only shows up in the sprayers. And we go onto here, and then it's got 27 meter width. Now, is that 27 meters for both of them? For 27 meters for one and then a different width for the other? That's something that we will actually test at some point, because we got a little bit of solid fertilizer on board. We'll go where we can actually see where it spreads on the field, and we'll put a little bit of solid, and then we'll try it with a bit of liquid fertilizer as well. But we don't have time for that today. So what I actually want to do now, that one can go there. We're going to start bringing the... actually, we'll start moving this one back first. We'll be using this one. I don't think we'll get to it this week, and I'm actually now thinking that we'll stick this John Deere on the John Deere baler. I think it would be a better match. You know, John Deere on John Deere, purely for that. So anyway, if you enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give me a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.